أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Madam Chair, Commissioners, Lead Counsel, Assistant Counsel, viewers and listeners, members of the press, good morning. Welcome back once again to our daily proceedings of this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters. For our next item on our today's agenda, I have the honor to yield the floor to Madam Chair. Madam Chair, over to you.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I'll call on Honorable Sila to lead us in Muslim prayers and Honorable Joyner to lead us in Christian prayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Arrahmanir rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim, as-siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Wariskan wasikan, warisan wasikan, wariskan wasikan, mubarakan, mubarakan, mubarakan. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad al-Fatih lima ughliqa wal khatim lima sabaqa an-nasir al-haqq bil haqq wal hadi ila siratikal mustaqim wa ala alihi haqqa qadrihi wa midari azim. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amen.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord Jesus, I come to you in prayer and ask for the grace that I need on this day. In this time that I need on this day, in this time and place, to pray with confidence that you hold me dearly through good times and days when I grow weary, to look up to you with gratitude and praise, and in my life, here on earth, not go astray, to be open to grace, and while using your gifts, trust in you, whose love and compassion will always uplift me. Amen.
Good morning, Mr. Witness. Mr. Witness, can you stand here? Face the camera. Welcome to this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters. Mr. Witness, in which language do you wish to make your testimony?
Yes.
In which language do you wish to make your testimony?
English.
What is your religion?
Islam.
Do you wish to swear by the Holy Quran or make an affirmation?
I can swear.
Can you speak into the mic for everybody to hear?
I can swear.
Okay, Madam Chair, the witness wishes to swear by the Holy Quran. Hold the Holy Quran. And then repeat after me. Face that camera. Repeat after me. I, Bubacarr
Bubacarr Bari,
do swear that
do swear that
I'll speak the truth,
I speak the truth,
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
Help me God.
Thank you. You may be kindly seated. Madam Chair, the witness is sworn. I have the honor to hand over the witness to for us to proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Bari.
Morning.
You're welcome. Counsel, you may proceed.
Mr. Bari, please state your name for the commission.
My name is Bubacarr Bari.
Your address, sir? What is your address?
Bundung.
Bundo.
Yes.
What is your occupation?
I'm an IT specialist and an entrepreneur.
Can you please tell us your educational background, sir?
I studied the traditional Dara first, then joined the Madrasa from Malanding Islamic Institute from nursery school to grade 12. Then I joined Nusrat Senior Secondary School from grade 10 up to 12. After that, I joined the Nusrat Management and Accountancy Center to study system engineering and system administration. From there, I joined Lasting Solution to continue the system engineering and database management systems. That's it.
You recall on the 21st of August 2023, you gave a statement to the investigators.
Yes.
I will show you a duplicate of the original. Please go through it. It's a 2-page document. It bears your name and a signature. Is that your signature?
Yes, it's my signature.
And so is that your document as well?
Yes.
Yeah. We apply to tender the statement of the witness Bubacarr Bari, dated the 21st of August 2023, into evidence as an exhibit.
The statement dated the 21st of August 2023 is hereby admitted in evidence, and it is marked as an exhibit as LGC/BCC/BB/001.
As the commission places. You are the founder of Smart Technologies and Smart Professional College. Right?
Yes.
You've had engagements with B.C.C. in 2021.
Yes.
You recall this?
Yes, I recall it.
Where a certain amount was paid to you for the training of individuals, correct?
Yes.
What can you tell us about it, sir?
Since COVID 2020, because we had vocational education programs and partnership with various international institutions, when we had that the B.C.C. is about to do a vocational training at the Crab Island, we wrote several proposals for partnership so that...
When you had that, where did you hear it from?
News, because I was talking to one Keba Silla. He told me he was doing it, but B.C.C. is also doing similar thing, because I approached Keba for a partnership of the same, because we have vocational skills certification programs.
Right.
But during the 2020, I had B.C.C. plan, I think it's news or online, because I always frequent online, that B.C.C. is planning to also take part of the Crab Island to do vocational skills. Our approach was, how do we use this innovative vocational program in partnership with you, because I know the B.C.C. then did not have vocational skills programs that they can implement at Crab Island. So we wrote several proposals for partnership, most importantly in how do we, when they do the training centers and renovate them, how can we give them content to deliver, just like we do with various colleges in the Gambia.
So you, go ahead, please proceed.
Yes, we didn't receive feedbacks for those proposals.
No, first, you had it from an individual. You said, is it Keba?
Yes, Keba. I had from Keba that he is doing a program.
What is Keba's full name?
Keba Silla. He
Keba
was
Silla.
a National Assembly member also. So I approached Keba on his plan to do a vocational skills program at the Crab Island. And we did not go further because Keba was not forthcoming with that.
Who is Keba?
Keba was a deputy or something, a National Assembly member for Banjul, something.
All right.
I don't remember the details. So then we also heard that B.C.C. is also doing similar thing in the same environment. So that's when we wrote the proposal to B.C.C. for a partnership for content providing of vocational education.
You had this all from Keba?
No.
So
What I had is the revival of Crab Island from Keba.
Yes.
And Keba has his own initiative.
Right.
I approached Keba with that initiative and a
Yes.
partnership. When Keba was not forthcoming, and I heard now from another source, online I think, that B.C.C wants to do the same vocational training in the same environment.
Online, it was advertised?
No, it was not an advertisement.
So what do you mean online?
I really don't remember the details, but I know they were trying to do something there.
But how can you know that? You're not omnipresent. You cannot just know things off the cuff like that. If it was not advertised, then you must have a source.
It was not a post. It was an initiative, a vocational training initiative at Crab Island.
Yes.
Which will involve renovating Crab Island and delivering vocational
I
training.
agree. I understand.
Yes.
Where did you get that information?
I don't know the exact source currently.
You can't remember.
I can't remember.
But you wrote a proposal.
Yes.
How do you know, or did you know at the time that you had to write a proposal to engage B.C.C?
Because there's something that is about to happen in Crab Island, which will be done by B.C.C.
How did you know that?
That's what I told you. I cannot remember.
No, but you cannot just write a proposal about something you do not know. You don't have enough information about. You must have sufficient information to know what you are to do.
Then it was a public knowledge that Crab Island is being revived.
But it's not
And
public
two
knowledge that they
partners.
are inviting.
No, they did not invite. I didn't say they invite.
Exactly.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, that my point is, it was not public knowledge that they were inviting proposals. You would not know what the project is without having some very concrete information. You would not know the specifications of any project, if at all is in fact a project. What kind of project is it? If you don't act on informal information here and there, do you? Yeah, you run a professional institution.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's not how it works. You may not want to say exactly what your source is, but what you are saying is not true. You know exactly how you had the information.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
let's
remember.
proceed.
Okay.
Let's proceed, Mr. Barry.
Actually,
so you wrote a proposal.
Yes, for a partnership for vocational
With-
education.
What do you want to partner about?
Because we have vocational education content. We are
Right.
the partners of PSN VUA in the Gambia.
Right.
And we have over 10 different vocational skills programs, which we are writing to different institutions without even them soliciting it still now.
Yes.
You understand?
Okay.
Yes.
Do you have the proposal you wrote?
No, I don't have it here.
Please proceed. We would want you to produce the proposal.
Okay, I'll produce that. So when we did that, we
Please
did.
write that down so that you will not forget.
We did not see any response for that proposal. In 2021, we received a call from B.C.C, their procurement officer, that is
Pursuant to your proposal.
not to the proposal. I said we wrote the proposal in 2020, we did not receive any response for
Right.
that proposal.
Right.
But in 2021, we received a call from the procurement officer of B.C.C, one Mr. Bubacarr, that they want to sponsor some schools, some students or Banjul youths to study IT with us.
That's my point. Is it based on the proposal
I
you have
said
sent?
no.
Mr. Barry? It may be very uncomfortable, but you have to listen to my question and then you answer it.
Okay.
Okay? Why would they call you if it is not based on the proposal you have sent? Where did they get your contact?
The proposal has my contacts.
That's what I said.
Yes.
So you were not listening. I said based on the proposal. You have sent a document to them.
Yes.
Perhaps it took time, but they got back to you at some point.
Yes, but not with regard to that proposal.
Okay.
They got back to me, but it was not with regard to the proposal.
What was your proposal about?
Partnership for vocational education, content providing. That is, they have their school, they have their teachers, we have the content for training. We give them that, and they can do international exams with those programs. That was
And what were they soliciting with respect to the call from the procurement?
to sponsor students to attend our college to study IT.
Who called you?
Bubacarr.
You've known Bubacarr before that?
Yes.
Okay. For how long? How did you know Bubacarr?
During the submission of those proposals, Bubacarr was one of the people I met, and we also did an introduction.
For the first time?
Yes. Okay. I knew Bubacarr at B.C.C.
Okay.
Yes. Important thing is they wanted to train students to be employed after the program.
How do you train people to be employed? Can you please shed more light on that?
Exactly. Because we have a career roadmap. What we do, if you want to study with us, especially if it is on employment as an objective, in IT you have to do a series of programs, because you cannot just study one thing within 1 year or 9 months and you are employable. IT is multifaceted and multi-talent, so you need to do the foundation first, then you do the specialization. So when we concluded, they said they wanted to sponsor 20 students or 50 students. We said we are experienced with this type of scholarships, especially when it is intense, you tend to have dropout. So we want to add 10 more to the 50 to make it 60, so that we can cater for possible dropouts in the process.
Please come back again, roll that again. The suggestion was for what number?
50.
50.
Yes.
And you suggested
to add 20.
To add
10,
10 more.
To add 10,
60.
60.
So that if there are dropouts, it will
not affect the outcome.
Why will that affect the outcome?
Normally it does.
No, how will it affect the outcome?
Okay, if you agree.
If you train 50, you train 50, if 10 drop out, 10 drop out, how will it affect the outcome?
Okay, in training, payment is scheduled at initial. If students start the program at some point, if they go midway, they drop out.
Yes.
Your cost is already in.
Yes.
So normally with these institutions, they refuse to pay for the dropouts, and that's not ideal for training institutions.
No, they have to pay for the dropouts.
That's what we've been facing.
No, you asking them to add 10 would not be correct. They would have to pay if it's an agreement. Is that not the case? If a student agrees a parent agrees to send a student to a school or to do a course, and they have to pay for the course.
Yes, because
if at the end there's a dropout, it is at their own.
Yes,
it's at their own decision. So how does that affect you?
Because when parents send their students, their kids, they pay up front.
Right.
When projects like this, it's not paid up front.
An agreement is an agreement.
Yes.
It doesn't. If you allow them to pay at some point, 3 months or 2 months or at the end of the program, that's your own agreement. But the idea is you don't have a justification for negotiating that there are 10 more students based on the fact that that will cater for the dropout. You can have 10 more students to make it 60, you still have a dropout of 40.
Yes.
It still defeats the purpose.
But the reason we do this is at the end of these projects, most institutions, like we did it with several institutions,
right,
they refuse to pay for the dropouts.
Right.
So that's why normally from year 2020, when we are doing this type of programs, we add a number at no cost to the institution to cater for dropouts. We did it with the EU, we did it with the ITC, we did it with trade, we did it with multiple institutions.
So the 10 extra do not pay?
No.
It's free of charge?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's our contribution, but it also caters for the dropout. And not only us, many institutions are doing it, especially those doing this type of programs.
All right. So now, I have a voucher here. Maybe we can have the discussion better with the voucher, because it contains your invoice to Banjul City Council for the amount of $400,000. Please go through the voucher. It is the check number is 10279890. The date is 4th of November 2021. You recognize the voucher and the invoice attached to it?
Yes, I recognize the invoice.
Okay. And of course the voucher, the check as well. Correct?
Yes.
May I please have it? We apply to tender a payment voucher with a check number 102-79890. Attached to the voucher is also the photocopy of the check for an amount of $400,000 as an invoice from Smart Technologies to be admitted into evidence and marked accordingly.
So is that? A payment voucher dated the 3rd of November 2021 from Banjul City Council. The details of payment requested is being disbursement as scholarship allocated to beneficiary students to acquire digital literacy skills, specialized enterprise IT skills, and virtual learning platform access code. The amount is $400,000. And attached to this payment voucher is the invoice from Smart Technologies dated the 26th of November 2021 for the sum of $400,000. Further attached to this is a copy of B.C.C Bank copy of check dated the 4th of November 2021. These documents are admitted together as exhibit in evidence, and they are marked as LGC/BCC/BB/002.
As the Commission places, may I please have the exhibit? Now, your invoice reads, you have 10 people, the quantity, the number 10 is with respect to the people that are doing the program?
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Says 10 people for IC3 digital literacy skills for job. So this part for the price is determined by the, are you going to guarantee that they're going to secure a job after the training?
No, there is no guarantee that they will secure a job, but especially with similar programs, there is a 75% guarantee that they will get, because the 75%, the last payment is based on if the students have, 75% of the students have jobs. That's how it is done.
Okay, but that is not very clear with respect to the agreement, is it?
No.
Why is that? Is there any reason?
No, because this is an invoice. So similar programs we did, the payment is tied to getting 75% of the students getting a job.
But you've received the full payment. You've received the full payment?
No.
You didn't receive the full payment?
No.
In your statement, you said you've trained 25 people, 25 students, correct?
Should be 20 students.
20?
Yes.
Okay, let me read. Maybe there's an error somewhere. It says the number agreed to be trained is 50 students, in which the institution received the first batch of 25 students and successfully completed the program, the training. That's what is in your statement.
Okay.
Or is that wrong?
I think it's wrong. It's 20 students.
It's 20. It should be 20.
Yes.
Now, as soon as the first batch completed the training, the institution received the second batch from B.C.C. How many students?
The second batch should be 20 students. The third batch, 20 students.
Yes.
Yes.
So what did they pay for? They only paid for 20.
Yes. They paid 50% of the first 20. That is 10 out of the 20.
10 out of the 20?
Yes.
Which is how much?
400,000.
How is that possible? Because I see 30 students is what will amount to 400,000. That's going by your invoice. It says 10 students for IC3 digital literacy skills for job. $9,500 is $95,000 is total. Another 10 for specialized enterprise IT skills for job. $17,500. The total will be $175,000. Now another 10 for virtual learning platform access codes. 13,000. The total is $130,000. And the total altogether is 400,000, right?
Okay. These are the stages of learning. The first program is the digital literacy.
Yes.
They will finish the digital literacy because you cannot specialize on the specialized IT skills without doing the digital literacy first.
Right.
So after the digital literacy, then you specialize.
Okay.
To enterprise IT skills, where the student chooses what special, either graphic design or IT technician or
Right.
So all the two programs have virtual learning platform for 12 months.
Right.
Yes, so the virtual learning is the hybrid learning that they will use 24/7. They can have access to the video tutorial and the practical exams.
Right.
But you have to do digital literacy first, then enterprise IT skills.
So first you do digital literacy.
Yes.
And second enterprise IT skills.
Yes.
And how about the virtual learning program?
Virtual learning is across the board. From the first day they are introduced to the virtual
So it means the 10 for the digital literacy is the same 10 for the IT.
Exactly.
So where's the other 10?
No, because we wanted us to segment it into two payments.
Right.
That's why we invoice for 10 first,
Right.
then the second will be another 10.
And my point is you said you have 20 students.
Yes.
So we see 10 in the invoice. So where is the other 10, the invoice for the other 10?
We sent that to B.C.C. at some point.
But that's different from this one?
Yes.
So this one is only for $400,000.
Yes.
So the other 10 would have a separate invoice.
Yes.
And they have been trained, 20 altogether. So were you underpaid or you are overpaid?
We were underpaid.
You were underpaid?
Yes.
You didn't state that. So something is wrong somewhere. Because the math didn't add up. You agree? Going by this invoice, which you have received $400,000, the math would not add up based with your evidence as well, right?
Yes.
So the 10, outstanding 10, how much did they pay for that?
They didn't pay.
They didn't pay.
That's where we had issues with them. When we reached to that point, they said, okay, there's no contract. And we said, no, the agreement is we give you the forms, you identify the students, you call us, inform us that the students are there, they come to the school, we start the training.
So you never had a contract with B.C.C?
No.
You never signed a contract, let me just say, but there's a contract, but you never signed a contract with B.C.C?
No.
Your initial agreement with them was 50 verbal agreement. Who
Yes.
did you agree with?
Because once we agree, we give them the forms for students.
Who did you agree with?
We agreed with Ibu.
With?
That's the procurement officer.
Ibu Keita?
Yes.
Just met Ibu Keita, no one else?
He was working with some people for the identification. I don't remember them. But we gave him all the forms. He took it to B.C.C.
For 50 students?
Yes, we gave him 50 forms.
Where is the invoice for 50 students?
We are invoicing by group. The
By
first
group.
group came as 20 students. We invoiced for 10 people. The second, for that same group, we invoiced the second 10. That's where they refused to pay and said there's no contract. Then I don't think Ibu Keita was there then. So,
The second 10 making it 20?
yes.
No, your statement is different. It says the number agreed to be trained is 50, in which the institution received 25, you've said is 20, and had successfully completed the training. As soon as the first batch completed the training, the institution received the second batch from B.C.C. would have been another 25. But going by the actual numbers that you have given us, it should be 60.
Yes,
The agreement should be 60 instead of 50. Is that not the case?
that's the case.
So the second batch would have been 30, but if you have received 20, it would have been 40. So there were 40 outstanding students.
Yes,
Which
to be
you would
trained.
have trained.
We have not trained.
No, you would have trained.
Yes.
You would have trained, but not received payment. Going by your statement, you can change that in your testimony. You said that the institution received the second batch from B.C.C, but training could not continue because B.C.C failed to pay for the program. So they didn't come, or they started and then they dropped out.
No, the second batch didn't come.
They never came.
Yes.
So the 40 that you were supposed to train they were never present.
No.
So the 10 is only, you train 20 and they paid for 10.
Yes.
And 10 is what makes up the $400,000.
Yes.
And the other invoice you have sent is with them? Do you
Yes.
have a copy of the invoice? The second
Yes,
invoice?
I have the copy.
Yeah, please say it. So they paid for, which one did they pay? Because the group one, so they didn't pay for the group one part 2,
No.
for a similar amount of $400,000.
Yes.
Did you certify them?
No, we did not certify them.
But they completed the training.
Yes.
We applied to tender an invoice from Smart Technologies sent to Banjul City Council for the Group 1 Part 2 Education Services. The invoice number is 0302022. The date is 3rd of February 2022. Into evidence and exhibit.
An invoice addressed to Banjul City Council dated the 3rd of February 2022 with invoice number 0302022 in brackets 1 for the sum of $400,000. Is for the payment of ICT 3 digital literacy skills for job, specialized enterprise IT skills for job, virtual learning platform access codes. This invoice is admitted in evidence as an exhibit and it is marked as LGC/BCC/BB/003.
As the commission places. Now, some series of quick questions. The first, how long does it take to complete this program? Altogether, the 3 modules?
All the 2 modules will be 9 months, 6 months, then they will have access to the program for 12 months. That is the virtual learning program.
Right. And number 2, the first batch of 10 that you've trained, where are they now? Did you monitor and evaluate?
No, we've not. We had a WhatsApp group with them before, but a couple of them traveled. And
did you monitor and evaluate? To know the outcome?
No.
Why? Remember, there's a very integral part of the program or the modules that is there should be a certain degree of job certainty or guarantee. That will of course have an effect on the pricing, the fees,
yes,
or the tuition, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So basically, do you know how many of them got employed? You don't know.
We don't know. Because
so why would that be the case when that is supposed to be, when you are paid for that?
Yeah, because what happened is we were training them in groups,
right,
and when we did not get the second payment.
No, forget about the second payment now. Okay. You were entitled to be paid, going by your own evidence, unless we hear from B.C.C, they will probably shed more light on their part, but you have done your part. The procurement process is not correct, but you have done your part, you have trained the second batch, correct?
Yes.
And they failed to honor the agreement. That's separate. You are an entity, probably you should know what to do, seek for legal advice, maybe not forced to advise you. You understand what I'm trying to say. But let's now focus on the first part of the 10 students that you've trained. And you were paid $400, the tuition of which comprise of the guarantee to a certain degree that they will have a job. At least 75% going by your own statement here, even though going by the document, it says IC3 digital literacy skills for job. But did you evaluate? You don't know? You're not interested?
No, because we did not evaluate, because what happened is the justification for not paying us is like there's no contract. So when you
have been paid $400,000 for 10 people, 10 students. So let's limit our discussion on the 10 that you were paid for. Is that not fair?
It's okay.
Yeah, so no, you can disagree, but I'm just saying the second batch you've trained, but you are not paid. So of course it makes sense if you do not evaluate, if you don't do some kind of a check to see whether what they are doing after the training, whether you even help them to secure a job, whether they have found any employment at any point. You have not been paid fully. But the ones that you have been paid, 10 students, $400,000, the tuition is calculated to factor in the job prospects of the students you will be training.
Yes.
That's what you have explained.
Yes.
Why did you not evaluate?
For us, the agreement collapsed and we moved on to
The agreement did not
something else.
collapse.
Okay.
The agreement did not collapse for the first 10. You were paid for it.
Yes.
Yes, so why did you not evaluate the first 10?
Anyway, we did not.
But you will agree that would not be fair
Sure.
financially. It will not be fair, then you wouldn't have discharged your own side of the agreement for the 10. Do you know any of them had any job?
I have to check.
No, you did not check.
No, we didn't check.
You
I
did
have
not
to
know.
check
There's
now
a high
to know.
chance
Yes.
that none of them got employed.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
But I don't.
So, how do you compensate the taxpayers' money in that instance? Because that's what you are paid to provide: training and employment. So, what do we do? How would that problem be solved? Do you have their names?
Yes.
Do you have were they certified?
They were not certified.
The first 10.
The first group is 20.
The first?
Group is 20.
Yes.
Yes. Is the payment that divided into 10-10, but the group
first
is
10
20.
you have trained and you have paid. There were 2 invoices. You have trained 20 people in total.
Yes.
Is that a correct statement?
Yes.
Out of the 20, they were done in batches, 2 batches, right?
No,
First batch.
that's a single badge.
Come again, sir?
Yes.
Come again?
That's a single badge, that 20.
The 20 is a single batch.
Yes.
So this invoice is for how many people?
It's 10.
It's 10 people. Out
Of
the
that 20, yes.
So what is the second invoice for?
For the second 20, 10 of that same 20.
Exactly.
The first batch.
So this is for the first 10,
Yes.
right? Which you were paid fully.
Yes.
Is that not the case? So we are not interested. Come again, sir?
The way we see it, the badge is 20. The payment should be for 20. We have half of that.
Yes.
Yes.
You don't have half of that. You've sent an invoice for 10. It says Education Service Group 2. These people were trained separately. That's the fact. You have said it before. You might have forgotten. Your evidence in the beginning is very clear. Do you train 10 on IC3 digital literacy skills for job? Then you train them on specialized enterprise IT skills for job, and then you have the virtual learning platform access course. Is that not what you said?
No.
You didn't say that.
The training happened for 20 people in a single group.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yes.
And
So
then-
when we got to the payment aspect, we were advised to divide it into 2 so that we can invoice 10 and 10.
You were advised to divide the payment
Yes.
into 2.
Yes.
So why did you send 2 different invoices at 2 different periods then? First invoice, send, may I please have the second invoice? If it's one and the same, you have one invoice that is sent on the 26th of October 2021. Then you send the second invoice on the 3rd of February 2022. My friend, something is not ironed up. If they were all trained at the same time, then you would have sent one invoice. It's for you to clarify.
No. That's why I said they advise us to divide the payment. The first group is 800,000.
Right.
So dividing it we make it in 2 parts.
Right.
10 first and 10 second.
Time, 10 first and 10 second.
Yes.
For training that
For the
happened in the
payment.
same period.
Yes, they were all in the
When
same
did
class.
you train these people, these 20? Between what period to?
It's in 20. It started in 2021.
What is, when in 2021?
September, I think.
September 2021.
Yes, that's when
And
they
it ended when?
It ended in 2022
For 10 people.
for 20 people.
For 20 people, sorry.
Yes.
And you sent the first invoice in October 2021.
Yes,
And the second invoice in February 2022.
yes,
And you got paid for 10 people.
yes. For one
Who
invoice. we
advised
just
you
did.
to split the invoices?
It was the procurement.
Why? Well, what was the rationale?
Because the first was initial payment, that is when we just started. Then the second was when we were about to complete.
When you have
We were about to complete the
to
program.
complete.
Yes,
So that was why you sent 2 invoices.
yes.
And you will receive payment
One.
for 10. Do you know why you receive payment for 10?
We received the payment for 10. When we got to the second, that's when we have the disagreement.
When you have
The disagreement about the contracts and details.
okay. But still, the 10 that were paid for, you don't know their whereabouts.
No, we can check because we have their data, we have them in the virtual
You don't
learning
have their
service.
data. Did you certify that 10?
No,
How will they get a job if you don't certify them?
because they have the virtual learning also issues certification as their
No,
company.
but you did not certify them.
No,
For 2 modules they did with you, why? And you received $400,000? So what is the $400,000 for?
no, we did not certify them.
What is the $400,000 for? Is it not for the certificate?
No, it's not for the certificate.
It's for what?
It's for the training.
Where is the evidence that they were trained? Where is the evidence that they were trained? Is it not the certificate that you issue or any institution will issue that will prove evidence of education, educational background?
Yes,
Where did you study?
they need to be certified to.
No, where did you study? Where did you study?
I studied in different places.
Different
last
places.
10
Were you certified in all those places?
Yes,
Exactly. Can you, with certainty, prove that you had your trainings in networking security in Taiwan, in one of the institutions without the certificate?
no.
Exactly. So why did you not certify them? Is there any reason why you will not certify them and you will receive $400,000?
Okay.
Do you expect them to have a job? I'm asking you.
Without the certificate, it will be difficult.
It's impossible unless they self-employ themselves. It's impossible. Any organized institution would not employ them for the training that they are professing to have. They would not be employed for those unless they do the typical Gambian thing. If not, no organized institution would employ you. No reputable institution would employ you. You and I know this. Everyone knows this. Is that not the case?
I agree.
Will you certify them?
Yes, we can certify them.
You can now certify them.
Yes.
Mr. Buddy, is there any reason why? There must have been a reason why. I don't think you will intentionally want to not certify them. What would be the reason?
For us is when the agreement collapsed and we had to move. I remember we have some of the students put on our other programs in the second batch or so, but because we have our own scholarship program, we put some of them there, but when this collapsed, we had to move on.
It did not collapse. Number one, you didn't do things the right way as an institution because you did not have any formal contract with an institution.
Yes.
You had an arrangement with a procurement officer.
Yes.
A verbal arrangement. If you run a professional institution, you do things professionally.
Yes.
You understand that? So you cannot turn back and say and want to blame B.C.C. They have their own fault, of course. We will come to that. I'm just saying strictly, you cannot say you would not certify the 10 people that were paid for from public funds because you failed to do what you were supposed to do. To have a proper, go to the proper channel, have a proper contract and an agreement signed and sealed, so that in the event they fail, you may take the necessary actions based on what you think, or you and your shareholders, if there's a company, or so what you should do. If it is legal action, you will rightfully would have claimed your fees because you have executed the terms of your contract. You did not do that. You were focused on the money. That's the issue. You were focused on the $400,000. It's a huge sum. You were focused on the money. Now you were paid half of the amount. 10 people had to suffer. The public funds had to be wasted. And you were the winner. At the end of the day, you and Mr. Jaiteh emerged the winner, as the winners from this very shady deal. You think that's fair?
It's not fair for either parties.
No, we don't care about you people. We care about the people. We care about the public funds. We don't care about people that do things for their own private gains. Do you understand that? So whether it's fair for you or for Mr. Jaiteh, we don't want to know. That's not the interest of the public. That's private interest. Do you understand that?
Yes, I
When
understand.
you get paid for your own pocket and for your own private expenditure. You don't call me or call anybody else and to share the money with the people of the country or B.C.C. No. How? If you have given monies to Jaiteh, which suddenly looks like it would have been just for the two of you. So the interest would have been certifying those people, they go back into the public, they get employment, and they serve the public. That would have been the interest. You agree with that?
Actually, for us,
Do you agree with that?
not entirely,
You
because
don't agree that when you certify them, they will have a job and they will be for the best
yes,
interest
they will
of
have
the
a
public?
job, that I'm certain.
All right, that's the part I'm
Yeah.
interested in, Mr. Barry. Are there questions for this witness?
Mr. Barry, I want a bit of a clarification on the register. Can you please hand me over the two exhibits? Mr. Barry, you indicated that you trained 20, right?
Yes,
And the total payment was supposed to have been 800,000, right?
yes, for the 20.
And you were paid half of the money.
Yes,
And you trained only 10.
we trained on 20.
You trained 20.
Yes,
But going by exhibit LGC stroke B.C.C stroke BB stroke 002, that is the first exhibit. We see that on this exhibit, it is group 2, not group 1. So where is the payment for group 1?
we've received only one payment from B.C.C.
No. I'm asking you a specific question. When I was admitting this document, I took specific note of the group that you have indicated
Yes,
that you are asking to be paid for. That is the basis of this invoice. Is that correct?
yes.
So now I am asking you, where is the group 1?
I said the group 1 is what we were paid for. That's the invoice we sent.
Then why did you put group 2 here in the invoice?
And the invoice, that must be a mistake.
It cannot be a mistake, Mr. Barry. The basis of your payment is supposed to be on the authenticity of what is contained in this invoice. Is that correct?
Yes,
As an IT person, do you think you can make such a mistake in your invoice?
I personally know I won't.
So why? Whose signature is on this invoice?
It's my signature.
So do you want us to believe that this was a mistake from you?
Yes, because we did.
No. Answer the question. You want us to believe that this is a mistake from you?
It's possible.
Council, you may proceed.
That's all for this.
Thank you, Mr. Barry, for the evidence you have given. We will call you if we need to clarify any further issue. And once again, thank you for coming. All right?
All right.
You are discharged.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Witness. You may kindly take your seat. Mr. Witness, for continuation of your testimony before this commission, may I remind you that you are still under oath before I hand you over to Madam Chair for us to proceed.
Yes.
Thank you. Madam Chair, over to you.
Good morning, Mr. Jobateh.
Good morning.
You're welcome back.
Thank you.
Council, you may proceed.
Mr. Jobateh, do you have your documents?
Yes, I have the documents you requested from 2020, January to 2020, December, all the activity reports, everything happening.
We can't hear you. You're murmuring. You need to raise your voice so that we hear you clearly.
Yes, what I was saying is I've got all the documents from January 2022 to December 2022, and this include the activity reports, financial, and all the receipts. But then for the 2021 January to December, all those receipts originals were submitted to the project team. So I have the 2020 January to December, all the activity reports and all the original receipts. Because during the time of 2021 December, the project team used to request the original receipt from me.
May I please see what you have?
Yes.
We will apply that the witness, we stand out this witness and we call another witness so that we have the file arranged.
Council, what do you want him to sort out the file?
Yes. Yes.
Can you please instruct him as to what he needs to do?
Yes.
As we are standing him down to get another witness.
Right.
So that he will get it sorted out before we call him back.
Mr. Kamara will guide him. Mr. Jobateh.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Kamara will guide you to arrange your file.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Good morning, Mr. Witness.
Good morning.
Yeah, can you stand here? Face that camera. Good morning. Welcome to this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters. Mr. Witness, in which language do you wish to make your testimony? In which language do you wish to make your testimony?
In English.
What is your religion?
Islam.
Do you wish to swear by the Holy Quran or make an affirmation?
Yes, I do.
Which one? Do you want to swear or make an affirmation?
I can swear.
Madam Chair, the witness wishes to swear by the Holy Quran. Hold the Holy Quran and then repeat after me. I, Lamin Jaiteh,
Malanding Jaiteh,
do swear that I'll speak the truth,
I will speak the truth,
the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
So help me Allah.
Thank you. You may be kindly seated.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, the witness is sworn. I have the honor to hand over the witness for us to proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Jaiteh.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Council, you may proceed.
Yes, Mr. Jaiteh, can you kindly state your full name?
I am Malanding Jaiteh.
And your address?
Currently at the AU Villa, Brufut.
Mr. Jaiteh, what is your occupation?
My occupation, well, it's been a while, but I trained as a forester, meaning I did degrees in forestry. My final degree was forest science. So at the time and until now, I consider myself a forest scientist. But over the last 25 years or so, my work practice has taken me across different things, from academia, lecturing, teaching, and also doing everything under the earth in terms of climate, environment, and human interactions.
Right. Thank you very much. Please, can you give us a summary of your educational background, sir?
Just given one. I started in primary school, of course, and St. Augustine's High School. And then, of course, I went into forestry right there in 1980. And then I got an opportunity to go and study abroad. I did a national diploma in forestry in Cyprus, an advanced diploma in forestry in Cyprus, a B.C.C. in forestry in Aberdeen University, postgraduate degree, diploma in what we call rural development forestry in Holland, and then a PhD in forest science in Michigan, United States of New York.
Right. Now, you operate a private consultancy firm?
Correct.
What is the name?
Geospatial Data Solutions.
Are you registered?
Yes, was registered until, in 2006 since.
What's your last registration?
No, I first registered in 2006.
06.
Yes.
Right. In 2021, you had a training you conducted. Do you recall this?
Correct.
Stated in your statement, we will give you, your statement is a duplicate of the original statement. I believe you were given a copy.
Mm-hmm.
Please go through the statement.
Sure.
The one you have just been shown. It's a two-page statement. It has your name. Correct. And a signature, a date.
Yes. Yes, it is.
We apply to tender the statement of the witness, Malanding Jaiteh, correct?
Correct.
Into evidence and exhibit is dated the 21st of August 2023.
The statement dated the 21st of August 2023 made by the witness is hereby admitted in evidence as an exhibit, and it is marked as LGC/BCC/MSJ/001.
As the commission places. Now, what can you tell us about the training activity that you conducted in 2021 for B.C.C?
And that is the Banjul City Council.
Right, sir.
Yeah. It was to help the technicians working with the Banjul Greening project to learn how to use geospatial technologies, mainly GIS and GPS, in order to be able to account for the trees and green spaces in Banjul. And of course, help them map out the trees in Banjul, and also assess and understand how those trees can be supported, or how the green can actually be expanded in Banjul.
Now, how were you contacted for this service that you were to render?
Well, it started perhaps through a former student of mine. In 2020 December, I also conducted similar training, mainly introduction to GIS, to a group of Ministry of Lands folks across the sub-region, well, mainly Banjul, KMC, and Brikama, for the UNOPS, that is the Banjul 2040 project. And from there, one of the students happened to be part of the British Banjul City Council, perhaps may have informed the project about me, because then I got a request from the technical assistants at the time, Jonas, to see me, and then we met and asked for what kind of background I have, and of course, I'm sure he has read about me too. Then that is really how I got in, and they said whether I can support them. I said sure, and then weeks, perhaps days later, I was asked whether I could write an expression of interest in terms of supporting them for this particular issue, that is mapping out the trees in Banjul, looking at their condition, as well as proposing ways to manage those trees and beyond.
So you were not sent a proposal, a request for proposal?
Well, verbally, yes, I was.
Yes, but not documented.
Documentary-wise, I did not receive anything directly from B.C.C.
Right. And did you send your proposal?
Yes, expression of interest.
Yes.
Yes, both technical and financial.
And financial. Do you have copies of what you have sent to them?
I believe so, yes, I have. Much of it was done on with the email between myself and Jonas, and then later on, I'm sure it's somewhere. Yes, it also appeared as an addendum, or as an annex to the contract that I signed, I believe. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. May I please sit here?
Oh, it's okay. Here is a separate one, please. One separate. Yeah, maybe.
we apply to tender the contract for the provision of services between Banjul City Link project and Dr. Malanding S. Jaiteh. And attached to it is the expression of interest in a consultancy in GIS forestry in Banjul. You don't have your signed copy?
I cannot find it, but I remember going to the office in Banjul, and I signed 2 copies. And at the time, the CEO was not in office, I was told. And they said, well, okay, we would make sure he's signed, and then you get a copy.
But you were issued with a copy?
No, I did not get back that copy, and unfortunately, I did not ask either.
They didn't give you a copy?
No.
Why?
Well, I did not ask at the time, but I mean...
Was it not important that you have a signed copy of your contract?
I do believe, hindsight, yes, it is.
Why would you not request for one?
I could not remember why.
Because you should have requested for one.
Sure, I should have.
It would have been it's going to be difficult to rely on an unsigned copy. We'll have it. We'll seek to have it admitted. But if, for instance, any of these terms are being contested upon by the other party, what would you say?
I understand.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem. Was there a witness when you signed this copy on your behalf?
Well,
by yourself, witnessing the signatures?
The student at the time was Sajo Jame.
Right.
And he was there. And of course...
He worked for the...
Yeah, B.C.C. at the time.
He worked for the B.C.C.?
Yeah.
Sajo Jame?
Sajo Jame, yes.
In what capacity, do you know?
He was the IT technician who actually was part of the study I did, the training I did in 2020, and then was the one who introduced me to Jonas.
Yes. So B.C.C. will have a copy of the original?
For
signed
me?
Copy. Well, B.C.C. should have a signed copy of this.
They should.
We applied to tender the unsigned draft contract for the provision of services between Banjul City Link project and Dr. Malanding S. Jaiteh. And attached to it is the expression of interest in consultancy that was sent to the project into evidence and exhibit.
A contract for the provision of services, and this is between Banjul City Link project, care of Banjul City Council, Independence Drive, Banjul, as one party, and Dr. Malang S. Jaiteh as the second party. Attached to this contract agreement is Annexure 1, which is an expression of interest in a consultancy in GIS forestry in Banjul. This is submitted by Dr. Malang S. Jaiteh. This document is admitted in evidence as an exhibit, and it is marked as LGC/BCC/MSJ/002.
As the commission places. Now, was this, you signed the contract that you conducted the training?
Yes, it started with first to identify for them what kind of equipment they will need in order to be able to do. And then then from there, I developed the toolkit in terms of how do they go and map out trees.
Right.
And then they identified a number of people, and then I trained those people.
How many people?
About 8 at the time.
You have in the list with their names as well?
I don't have that.
Why?
Well, it is BCC's training students, not students, their staff at the time, and then they were all there. They said, okay, this is it, and I trained them. So
yeah, but you should have a file. You should have records of every. You run a consultancy.
I sincerely agree with you, and I do know that that was perhaps my first since I arrived in the country, because I was away for so long. But it was assumed that at the time there was record being kept. But personally,
it was assumed there was
records being kept by the organizer of the training to see that everyone who attended the training got their food, they got their whatever their DSAs were. Right. So, yeah.
Exactly. My point is both parties must keep records. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as the consultant, you have to have all these records as well for the number of people you have trained, what you have trained them on, in fact, just for your own individual records.
Yeah, I have slides for all the trainings I did, and I have presentations, both, and then, of course, later on the reports.
Yeah, but we need evidence of the training itself being conducted. You know why? Because, again, you were paid for it, right? Mm-hmm. You were paid for it. So because you were paid for it, it's public funds, and so if we're to account for the genuineness of the payments that you have received, which I have no doubt that you have conducted this training, but the evidence now, if we ask for it, you should be in a position to provide.
Okay.
Is that not the case? Do you agree with me?
I agree.
Right. Now, altogether, do you have the figure of how many people you have trained altogether throughout the span of this training?
Yeah, these are the 8 staff who are supposed to, who actually did the footwork of collecting information about the trees.
How many days training?
It was a 2-day training in order to learn how to use the tools, mainly Terraflex, GPS, and then another day in terms of how to use GIS, that is QGIS. If you collect data in the field, what do you do with it when you come to the office? That also was another training. And then we had personally spent in the field together for at least 2 days of going around Banjul, collecting, and then bringing it back. As soon as you collect, it's logged onto their system.
I see your contract. But it does not appear to specifically state the role of the parties. Perhaps your role, the scope of service on page 1, it says, train BCC GIS and IT staff on the issue of Terraflex software, data collection, and tree identification in order to complete a total tree count within the Banjul built-up area. B, assist BCC GIS and IT staff on the use of QGIS and OpenStreet maps. And C, assist BCC GIS and IT staff on the use of the QGIS and OpenStreet. So the annex 1 is also part of the contract in relation to the timeline and the different specifications in relation to how the program is supposed to roll out?
Yes, that was.
That's Annex 1.
Yeah.
All right. So I have Annex 1 here. That is the technical guide that you have provided. The deliverables says inception report detailing approaches, methods, and expected outcome, preliminary report on consultations with staff and management of Banjul City Council on the tree cover and greening in Banjul. You have all these reports? The training, the reports that is generated by virtue of the training you've conducted?
By virtue of the training reported, I managed to put together the slides and the thing, and I with email cover send it to Jonas that this is what we have done for the training.
But you don't have a report?
Except for the printouts of the slides I have, but there are files, computer files for each of those.
But you don't have a report?
A report on the
training you rolled out?
No.
Why?
Well, I assumed at the time that presenting them with what has been completed was the report at the time.
No, the slides will comprise of the training material.
Yeah.
The slides is what you use for the training. They don't constitute a report. They can be part of a report, but they would not constitute a report. Right? You agree?
Perhaps.
No, man, you can disagree. But my point is, if you are, for day one, for instance, you.
Look, I mean, once I reported to the technical person who were there,
right,
the training has been completed,
right,
and they said, okay, let's move to the next one, and then we did that, and then so I believe at the time that was enough for us a report. But if you want, that is to say, well, no, there has to be a hard copy one submitted. That was not submitted.
You are to have guidelines on tree cover development and management in Banjul. You have these guidelines prepared?
Yes.
You have a copy?
You have common trees of Banjul, I believe you have. And then within the final, there was a booklet reproduced as part of the final report, which I don't have a printout here, but I have the soft copy for it. That was the whole summary of what has happened and the assessment of all the trees that are in Banjul, their conditions, as well as what next for them in terms of guidelines as to what kind of trees we should plant and how should we manage the existing ones. That is part of the booklet.
These slides are the guidelines on the tree cover development and management?
No. Here, you have it here. So, the assessment part, and then the guidelines part.
How do I refer to this document, sir?
This is the assessment report and guidelines.
Okay. And this was prepared after the training?
Yeah, after the training, and we went out to conduct the study, that is the collection of the locations,
right,
and then the information that was gathered was analyzed in terms of where are the trees, what is their condition,
yes,
if there are damages, what is the cause of the damage, if they are old, what is their condition, both in terms of health. And then from there, the guideline part was to suggest to them that the type of planting, the species to choose, also how to manage the existing trees.
Right. I think this will help.
Okay.
we applied to tender the Ostend Banjul Greening Project, a consultancy in GIS forestry in Banjul, submitted by Dr. Malanding S. Jaiteh, the witness, into evidence as an exhibit.
Dr. Jaiteh, when was this assessment done?
In 2021.
When in 2021?
My memory is not so good, but I believe somewhere between, I know it's during the rainy season, maybe around August to October, sometime around there, or July to October. I can't remember. I have an email here that is reporting that the tree mapping has been completed. That is on the 7th of September.
Can we please have that
So,
also? The Ostend Banjul Greening Project, a consultancy in GIS forestry in Banjul, which was submitted by Dr. Malanding S. Jaiteh, is hereby admitted in evidence as an exhibit, and it is marked as LGC/BCC/MSJ/002.
As the Commission places. We apply to tender email correspondences from the witness, Dr. Jaiteh, informing the other party of the completion of the recordings of open spaces and trees on the streets of Banjul. And the final report of the consultancy for GIS forestry in the city of Banjul. To be admitted into evidence and marked as exhibits.
email correspondences from Dr. Jaiteh to staff of Banjul City Council, which are 3 in number, and an email from Bubacarr to Dr. Jaiteh. These 4 emails are admitted in evidence as exhibit, and they are marked as LGC/BCC/MSG/004.
As the commission places. Now, Dr. Jaiteh, just 2 questions for you. The first is with respect to your mode of payment, and the second as to the balance. You were not paid in full, were you?
I did not get all of it, yes.
Why?
Well, it's coincided with a travel I did. I mean, I know I got the first 20%, and I did not ask for any payment until when I finished the job. Then when I asked, they're saying, okay, at that point, they could not qualify as 100% pay, so I got 70% on top of that. So 70 plus the 20, and then I traveled out of the country. And weeks later, maybe up to 6 weeks, I came back. I got into another activity, and I moved on.
Okay. So, did you request for the outstanding balance?
No, I did not ask. That's why I said I moved on.
You forgot?
No, that's not too much of a thing, but I really did not pay attention to. I have to go back again and then just collect that last bit.
So altogether, how much did you receive?
It was 459 when they converted the dollar.
459,000.
Yes.
And what is the outstanding balance?
That's the 10% of that at the time, which I assume was about 40-something thousand.
At one point, you received $314,300, right?
Yeah, that was at the time, that was the 70%. And before that, 80-something thousand.
89,800.
Correct.
That's 404,100.
Yeah.
And what is the contract amount?
449,000.
Okay. The other issue is how were you paid these 2 installments?
The first was a check. I believe it was an EcoBank check.
EcoBank check.
And then the second one was a transfer request I made.
Can you provide us with your transfer to your bank account?
I was asked to, that whether I have a bank account. I gave them bank account and the BBAN, and I remember it took a back and forth with the bank, but I believe finally it was paid.
Which bank is that?
That's EcoBank again.
Okay. We want you to provide us with your bank details.
Okay, I can do that.
Thank you. Now, why were you paid in your name and not the farm's name?
Even the contract was in my name because they would not take it as the firm.
They would not?
Accept the contract as the firm.
Why?
Because I was contracted directly, and I said, but I have a firm, but they said, well, no, this is something that we want you personally to participate and help. It is not going to be the firm, which I agreed, no problem.
What do they mean by that? You are the firm.
Well,
the firm has its reputation or its qualification for the job or the service it will render because of the qualification that you hold.
Yes. It is not the first time. I mean, people say, well, we cannot bring in the firm, but we can bring you in as the technical assistant.
Do you know why they do that?
I have no idea.
Did you ask B.C.C why they decided to pay you directly and not the firm?
No.
You were to pay 10% withholding tax. Did they inform you about this?
No.
You didn't pay any tax from this payment?
They did not tell me anything about tax.
About tax. Right. Any questions for these witnesses?
Yes, you may proceed.
Dr. Jaiteh, we're very much interested in what you did. How many students did you train on this GIS system in Banjul for the trees?
Well, 8 people participated in the training.
And they were all Banjul City Council staff?
They were all selected by the office, the project office, to come in and do. I don't know whether they are considered staff or not, but I do know at least a few who are. One is an IT person, and that's how it is. But whether they are technically in the books as Banjul City Council staff, I cannot say.
Is the system still operational, the GIS system?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, but at the end of the training, what I needed was to submit the GIS files. In fact, every collection that was done, it was done through the GPS system, and it was logged onto a server in the project's name. So, in fact, I had to ask for the IT to send me any of the trees information about the trees collected to me so that I can process the file.
So you have all these trees planted on a GIS system?
In there, and you know, that issue with GIS is many. There is more than just machine. You know, the people who are supposed to operate, if you are not there or they don't know how to do it, it's usually difficult, and that's where things break down.
I think that was the essence of the training then.
Correct.
So if the training was really well done, which I assumed, then we shouldn't have these issues of not having the information in the GIS.
Sure. And I believe the training was done because we were able to achieve what we needed to do.
Okay. Was there a monitoring evaluation put in place to ensure sustainability?
Well, that was beyond my terms of reference.
Okay, okay.
What I did also was at least to work with them across the beaches of Banjul to see the various plantings activities on the streets of Tobacco Road, for my own personal view as to what they should be doing instead. You know, that we did. So there are nurseries, coconut nurseries or coconut plantings, and I did that several times, going back and forth so that I can help them understand the forestry practice of things, not just the GIS.
No, I'm just trying to have it right. You only worked in Tobacco Road and the beach, or the whole of Banjul?
The whole of Banjul. I mean, the maps on the thing would show you all the street trees were mapped.
All right, we've not looked at the maps yet.
Yeah, but
thank you.
Dr. Jaiteh, the TerraFlex participants, you said were 8, correct?
Correct.
Now, how were they remunerated?
I don't know.
Mr. Jaiteh, as a consultant, you were, okay, let me ask you this question. Did you submit technical and financial proposal?
Correct.
Can we please have copies of the technical and financial proposal?
It's on the expression of interest, and it does not include the expenses to be covered by the staff of B.C.C. or the equipment cost.
And who did you discuss with pursuant to the remuneration of the participants?
I did not discuss remuneration of participants because my task was to train those who they bring, and I trained them, and I walked with them up and down the streets. One thing I know is the lunch that was brought, at least during the training session, I participated in eating part of that. We all had lunch, but who brought the lunch and who paid for the lunch at the time was not part of my TOR.
All right. So the detailed technical and financial proposal is attached to the unsigned copy that you have submitted to us. Is that correct?
Yes, for my part of the service delivery, yes.
All right. So the ESRI shape files, did you submit everything back to the council?
Everything.
But they are not part of the documents that we have admitted, correct?
Well, they are electronic files.
Yes.
And they were sending us email.
Yes.
So that the IT there now has it. So at least they should have
Where
it.
they sent, you have them, right? And then
yeah, because when it was a three-way thing,
yes.
in the sense that for the collection devices, Jonas bought the equipment, or at least brought the equipment, the GPS units itself. And then I had to develop the software that will more like survey the trees. But you log on to a cloud base that was based on subscription. So I understand at the time they had a subscription until December of that year. And that subscription would allow 3 users to be logged onto the system. And I was not a subscriber to the system. They were the subscriber. B.C.C had the 3 accounts.
Yes, the reason why I ask is for the purposes of sustainability and having the data available for futuristic use. That is why I'm asking you to be able to ask further questions if we happen to call the staffs that participated in the project.
Yes, I get that part, and I think the data collection was temporal. That's why the subscription was only that.
Now,
but actually maintaining the data would be offline on a QGIS. That's why we had to do that QGIS training in order to know how do you handle the trees, the data, how do you manage them, how do you present the information by going through the various steps of working with QGIS.
All right. Now, Mr. Jaiteh, do you agree that it was important for you to have had a comprehensive report for future reference? Do you agree that it was important for you to have done that?
Oh, yeah.
Given the work and given the data you have collected and worked on?
Yes,
even though we cannot see, you understand, a report outlining everything that you have done, except for what is contained in slides of presentation.
2020 hindsight, I would have recorded every single thing and packed it in one big lump and pass it on. Okay. Of course, I always believe that email had records, and that the records and also the file that was of importance at the time. This document that you have as the report contained the various stages of the assignment and showed them what things were like, and then of course attached to that was the shape files that they should be able to have on their machine and work with it. Yes. So yes, but I do agree, yes, on hindsight, I should have had all the thing in a package somewhere.
Yes, further to that is because in this document that you are referring me back to, you have identified the gaps when you were processing this GIS information, and you were doing back and forth with the data collectors on the ground to be able to fix those data gaps. And without a report, we wouldn't be able to appreciate, you understand, how you were able to resolve all of this and come up with something that could stand the test of time with respect to what is anticipated if somebody decides tomorrow to take up this project and go a step forward. Correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Mr. Council.
That's all for Dr. Jaiteh.
Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Keta, thank you so much. If there is a need for us to clarify any further issue, we will call you to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Gay, can you please call in the witness? Mr. Keta, you are discharged. Dr. Keta, sorry. Dr. Jaiteh, sorry.
Thank you.
You are discharged. We will rise.